In April 2013, the U.S. Senate started considering a comprehensive immigration reform bill. And today we're going to give you an outline, a brief outline, because this bill is over 800 pages long. The first thing that I'd like to talk to you about is the pathway to citizenship. It's called in the bill RPI, which is Registered Provisional Immigrant. And what they'll do is they will give people who are undocumented, who have been in the United States since before the end of 2011 and are still in the United States in illegal status, they will give them work cards and travel cards. And they'll be good for 6 years, and they're renewable. In order to qualify, you have to show that you don't have a serious criminal record, that you've paid your back taxes, and you'll pay a filing fee, and you'll pay penalties. After you have gotten your renewal of the card in 6 years, when you're here 10 years with that RPI status, you can apply for a green card. And 3 years after that, you can apply to become a U.S. citizen. Two groups actually have a little better pathway to citizenship, and that's the dreamers, the kids who came to the U.S. before their 16th birthday, and the agricultural workers who, instead of waiting 10 years to apply for a green card, can do so after 5 years. Now, in addition to creating this pathway to citizenship, there are benefits and changes that are made to the present legal immigration system. And again, these are proposed. These are not in law right now. So in the family-based 2A category, which is spouses and minor unmarried children of permanent residents, there will be a removal of all the quotas. Sometimes these people have to wait a couple of years to become legalized or to join the U.S. green card holding sponsor, the husband or the wife in the U.S. Now they'll be able to come right away. They're going to be considered immediate relatives, just like spouses and children and parents of U.S. citizens. But you notice I didn't say parents in the 2A category. Permanent resident cannot sponsor their parents. Another thing that is really huge is that immediate relatives can bring in what we call a derivative beneficiary. So let me give you an example of that. I become a citizen and I want to get green cards for my parents, but I have a younger sister who's 15 years old. Under the present immigration law, I can get my parents' green cards as immediate relatives in a few months, but my sister will be on a wait that might range from a decade to 2 decades. Now, that sister will be able to come in the same day my parents come in. So that's a huge change. One thing that's going to be eliminated 18 months after the bill is enacted is the 4th preference category. So anybody who doesn't have a petition filed for them by a citizen brother or sister, that category will cease to exist and they'll just take care of the backlogs. Also, in the categories where the U.S. citizens can apply for their married children, which is the 3rd category, they must file the petition going forward before that kid's 31st birthday. And then also, to keep families together, certain spouses and especially children will be able, while they're waiting for their green cards, to come in on V visas. Now, there's also changes made in the employment-based system. The biggest change is that so many people will be exempt from quotas that the number of people coming to the U.S. to get green cards through employment, I expect to double or triple within the next couple of years. Who's exempt? For one thing, people that are in the EB-1 category, the employment-based 1 category, and there's 3 subcategories. There's people of exceptional ability, there's people that are outstanding researchers and professors, and there's multi national executives and managers. And not only will they be exempt, but their spouses and kids will be exempt. Right now, there's 140,000 people who can come to the U.S. through employment, but about 40% of them are spouses and kids. They just come in by virtue of their relationship. Those people won't be counted anymore, so that's huge. Also, physicians have a lot of benefits under the law, and one is if it's a physician who gets a J waiver, that physician will not have to be counted against the employment quota. So there'll be no waiting times anymore. We have Indian and Chinese physicians who've been waiting years for green cards. They'll be able to come right in after this. Also, there's going to be now there's 5 EB categories. A new EB6 category will be started for entrepreneurs who are doing startup businesses. There's also, and temporary workers is a complicated subject, and in the future we'll make a video just talking about that. But I did want to mention one thing, that there are going to be this new category for people with skilled and unskilled jobs of W visas. And that's all I'm going to say about it right now. An important thing that I want people who have applied for asylum, or either in the past or in the future, to know is there's always been this 1-year filing deadline. If you fall out of legal status, you only have 1 year to apply for asylum. That's going to be gone. And people who didn't get to file for asylum in the past because they were outside the 1 year and they were before an immigration judge, they will be able to reopen their hearings now and apply for asylum. In addition to all these immigration benefits, you have to know that there's going to be stronger border enforcement measures, and employers who now have the option of being on the government's E-Verify system. Within 5 years, all employers in the U.S. will be mandatorily subject to E-Verify. One thing I wanted to say about one group of temporary visas, this year we reached the H-1B quota in only 5 days. So we're turning away a lot of talent. Next year, if this bill passes, the H-1B quota is going to go up substantially. The 65,000 general cap will go up to 110,000, and that can eventually reach a maximum of 180,000 a year. And the 20,000 master's cap will go to 25,000, but it will be limited to STEM grads, which STEM stands for scientific, technology, engineering, and math. And all H-1Bs, if the bill goes through as is, will have to be advertised, and the employer will have to show they can't find American workers to do the jobs. And certain H-4 spouses will be able to get work cards in the United States, or EADs. And when people are transferring between one H-1B job and another one, it's never been really clear how long they have to transfer. Now there'll be a 60-day grace period. And then finally, I just want to say for those people who are looking to get benefits under this fantastic proposal that we hope will become law, that the number of immigration attorneys as well as the number of H-1Bs is going to double. Lawyers will be flooding into this field because there'll be a lot of money to be made. What you want to be sure is you have a lawyer that is acquainted and experienced with immigration law, and you don't go to a notario, you don't go to a consultant, and the federal government for the first time will be sanctioning and holding people up for criminal penalties if they take advantage of people. But they can only do so much, so use your own sense here. You can go to our webpage either at Shusterman.com or click on that page to go to our Spanish language webpage. We have a page that relates solely to the Comprehensive Immigration Reform Bill, and we will be putting up pages. We've already got several articles, but we'll have many more articles, and we'll have additional videos.